When your AC stops working, just call the experts at KS Services Heating and Air. They're fast and affordable. Right now, purchase any Bryant energy efficient system and save with 0% interest for 60 months with approved credit. It comes included with a 5-year labor warranty. And our fair price guarantee means that we will always give you 3 quotes for every situation. A good, better, and best. Call KS Services Heating and Air today. We roll on, whatever it takes.
It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the afternoon edition for Wednesday, the 4th of October. I'm James Spann. We are dry through Friday. The weather late this week and early next week all depends on our tropical system in the Gulf. So many questions. We'll see if we can find so many answers. Here we go. Water vapor satellite view this afternoon. Same setup we've had for a while. We've got broad ridging in the east, broad troughing in the west. A little disturbance coming through the southern plains, producing some heavy rain over parts of Oklahoma today. Temperatures upper 70s and low 80s, and that's about where we should be for early October. Fort Payne 77, Gadsden 79, Birmingham 80. We'll bump up into the mid-80s tomorrow and Friday. Around the nation, the cold air continues back in the northern and western states, but for now, the upper winds will not allow that down in here. We should cool down toward the middle of next week. On the watch warning map, some flash flooding issues for parts of Oklahoma this afternoon, also parts of New Mexico. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet. And the severe weather outlook for the rest of today and tonight, a marginal risk over parts of New Mexico. Now, this is the rain for the next 7 days, and I think the guys at WPC might adjust this a little bit. We'll see. It's a very early forecast for the tropical system, and this could change dramatically. There should be a very sharp cutoff on the western edge of the tropical system. And based on the current Hurricane Center track, they'll need to move this axis a little more to the east. Alabama looks to be on the dry side, but again, we stress that could change. So this is very much up in the air. Speaking of the tropics, here we go. Across the Atlantic Basin, we have that little disturbance south of Cuba that's not expected to develop. Our new tropical system is in the far southwest Caribbean. And this thing is basically just off the coast of Central America. Top winds 35 miles an hour. Should become Tropical Storm Nate at some point later today, tonight, or tomorrow morning. Let's check the satellite view. That's the visible satellite view. Looks pretty well organized. And we'll see how it interacts with land over Nicaragua and some of the Central American countries. But for now, this looks like it might be a tropical storm even as we speak. The spaghetti model plots, the tropical model plots, this is 18Z. And you can see there's a lot of spread here, all the way from central Louisiana to near Indian Pass, Florida. But remember, most of these are based on the GFS. And this is a look at the GFS ensemble guidance, and you can see that it's pretty tightly clustered, 21 members, and all of the members are west of Alabama. But quite frankly, the GFS is a bit of an outlier, and accordingly, the Hurricane Center track is much farther to the east. This is the official track based on the European guidance, and I think this is a pretty good call at this stage of the game. They bring this thing up as a Category 1 hurricane Sunday into the Florida Panhandle, somewhere around Panama City Beach, Port St. Joe. And then by Monday morning, it's a remnant depression near Greenville, South Carolina. And if this were to verify, Alabama would be mostly on the dry side. But again, we stress it is very early in the game. This could easily change. Here's the intensity guidance. And again, a couple of models ramp it up to a Category 1. A number of them keep it a strong tropical storm. I think the main impact here, one way or the other, whether it's a tropical storm, a Category 1 hurricane, will be a lot of rain along and east of the circulation center. In terms of the timing, this is the earliest reasonable arrival of tropical storm force winds. And they've got Saturday evening at 8 o'clock down into South Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. And again, we'll just have to wait and see. I want to stress these graphics are very early in this, and these could change a good bit as we get closer to the weekend, so be aware of that. And we'll talk about modeling here. Let's look at the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Aloft, this is at 500 millibars, troughing in the west, ridging down here across the deep south. For us, the weather's sunny and warm. Mid-80s are likely. Little surface lows developing near Key West, Florida. This is Friday. Alabama mostly sunny and warm, mid-80s again. That lead low is moving west across the northern Gulf with no development. And we've got what should be Nate approaching the Yucatan, and we'll see how it interacts with the peninsula down there. This is Saturday. Nate is moving steadily to the north, actually a little west of due north on the GFS. And again, this is suggesting we might need to mention some chance of showers Saturday, but I think a decent part of the day will be dry. And this is Sunday. It's inland over Louisiana near Macomb, Mississippi, actually. So the GFS is suggesting landfall would be early Sunday morning on the Louisiana coast. And, of course, if this is right, Alabama's on the wet side. This would suggest a big rain event, maybe the threat of a few isolated tornadoes. And we'll go to Monday. The remnant circulation is over West Virginia, and we still have moisture here, suggesting still a chance of showers. But again, we stress this run is the GFS runs have been a bit of an outlier. Let's go to the European, which has performed so much better this hurricane season. This is Monday morning at 7 a.m. It's slower, and it's got the system Nate coming up as a hurricane right at Panama City Beach. So understand, you see the model madness we're dealing with. The GFS brings this thing in early Sunday morning over Louisiana. The European brings it in Monday morning near Panama City Beach. This is Monday evening at 7 o'clock. The circulation center is just east of Columbus, Georgia, and this certainly would suggest some wind and rain for the eastern part of Alabama. And again, how much rain we get will be determined by the track of this, but it clearly looks like at this point the eastern half of the state certainly has the better chance of getting some big rains here. And even in this situation, Alabama's still on that good dry side. If this verifies, no risk of tornadoes, probably no flooding problems. And then this is Tuesday, midday. Nate is moving up toward Washington, D.C., and we are cooler and drier. But again, if you got a beach trip, I'd give it one more day before you make any change in plans for the weekend. Give us about another 12, 18 hours, and we can give you a much higher confidence look at this. But it's just too early in the game to be specific about the impact on any one point on the Gulf Coast. We'll go to Wednesday of next week, back to the GFS. We got ridging here, pretty cool air mass trying to push in. And this is the end of the forecast 10 days out. This is Saturday, October 14th. New trough in the northwest. Still got ridging down here that looks quiet. And the numbers, highs mostly in the 80s through early next week, then dropping in the 70s toward the middle and end of next week. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes in the blog. The next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can, catch us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
AC broken? Just call KS Services Heating and Air. All Bryant energy-efficient systems come with a 5-year labor warranty, and our fair price guarantee means that we'll always give you 3 quotes for every situation. Just call KS Services Heating and Air today.